Kenya gave me a lot of everything. There's a vibration in America that is not good for our system. It's not good for our mental, our spiritual, or physical health. And then they're doing a lot with the food and all that. And I was just tired. I ended up in the hospital when I came on the continent for 4 days because I literally was inflamed from head to toe. I had ulcers that went all the way from my esophagus all the way through. And I actually literally almost bled to death because I didn't know 3 days away. If I waited 3 more days, I would have passed away here on the continent. And that was from eating the food that we eat there and the stress load of working and just all the bad energy. So one of the things that happened coming here, I was able to recenter myself and actually get in touch with who I am. Say hello, Mom.
Hello.
This is my mother, Belita. She's originally from Detroit, Michigan, Las Vegas also, but we're raised in Alaska. Hello, I am Ola, and I am from Las Vegas, Nevada. Come on in. This is the kitchen area. I actually had this made. This didn't exist in the house. So when I moved here, I had this made with the stools and this cabinet here installed because it was like a galley kitchen. It had nothing to work on. So I needed more cabinet space. So this is my simple kitchen, and I like to cook. So, and stir stuff up in the kitchen. So, and then you go from the kitchen. I cannot say I was running from anything. When I left the United States, I've traveled, I'm ex-military. So I'm coasty, yes. I really wasn't running from anything. I had a pretty good life in the States. I had a really nice, stable life there. I've owned several salon day spas. So when COVID happened, and that's when I left, is when COVID happened. And there was so much at the time. We had a president that I did not agree with. He was a little strange, and he is again. He's back in office. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but we won't mention names. But I had taken all my DNA stuff, and I'm Yoruba by 72%. And so all of 90 something, 90, as in 96%, I'm from the continent. So I was like, once I had taken my DNA, I was like, I'm going to go visit the continent. And I'm not going to stay in all this madness. They were saying with COVID, you need sunshine and all that. So I was like, what better place to get it is on the continent. So that's when I left and I literally just packed up everything and moved to Gambia. And I was in Gambia almost 3 years. It was, no, not quite 3 years. It was like 2 years. But I cannot say that I ran away from anything in America, but I was trying to more or less find myself to get some peace because I left my children. I have a granddaughter now, have 2 children. So, you know, I just needed even some self-reflection or you're to get away from the rat race of America and what was going on there. Yeah. This is the first bedroom, which is my room. Nice and simple. It's a king size bed in here. All the decorating. We brought all our own furniture. The whole place was unfurnished. So we brought all our own furniture from Botswana because I moved here from Botswana. So I had lived in Botswana for 3 years. So we had our furniture transferred here. And then the second bedroom is my mother's room. This is the master. She has the master because she's my mommy. And she has the balcony outside of her room. My very first touchdown in Africa was actually Nigeria. So that was back in 2016. And that was interesting. because Nigeria could be a bit much. I ended up crying at the airport because people was grabbing my bags. I didn't understand that they were trying to help me or whatever. So I thought I was getting accosted. I'm from America, so anybody grabbing your stuff, you're like, oh my god, they trying to steal my stuff. I just got here. But anyway, but when I went outside the airport, that was the first time my feet was on the continent. Like I knew I was on the continent, and I literally could not stand up. It was the most spiritual. I don't even know how to explain it. It brings a little tears to my eyes now. I was like, I knew I was home. I knew that the connection that I was looking for, somewhere I have found it. And so that was my first contact with the continent. And then I went to Gambia. Well, Gambia is Gambia, and Gambia was Gambian. So that's where I actually first lived. But I left Gambia and I moved to Botswana. And then I left Botswana, I came to Kenya. Now, my first introduction to Kenya, you know, um, I had already gotten over the shock of what people were telling us of what Africa was about. And Africa is a continent, and it has 54 countries. So is it 52 or 54 countries? So I had already realized when I went from Nigeria to Gambia, that the countries are all very different. And then when I went from Gambia to Botswana, Botswana was like, oh my God, this is, I never thought I would live in an African country and think that it was no different than being in America. And so then when I came to Kenya, I was like, okay, I'm home. And that's what I felt when I got here to Kenya. Kenya gave me a lot of everything. It gave me a lot of you had the greenery, you had the convenience, you have, if you want to be a partier, you can party. If you're partying and drinking, that's not me. I'm a little too old for that. I get out there and shake a little bit every now and then, you know but it has everything, like things that for my mom to do, things for me to do. You can build community, and that's what I loved about Kenya. Kenya seemed like it just brought everything together. Like all the other countries that I've gone to, everything for me in Kenya, I can find here. I went to Mombasa and I was just like, oh my God, I'm on the beach. And I felt like it was wonderful. So yeah, I've gotten everything in Kenya. That's why I really think that I would like to make Kenya home. And then this is the living room area. When we moved here, we only brought our bedroom furniture. So I believe when you go to a country, you should get the artisans to make your furniture. So that was made here. We had all our living room furniture made here, and then also this whole area here, we had them build. And with this chair, was all we had everything custom made here in Kenya. So actually, that's one of the things I love about Kenya is the furniture making. Um, in Botswana, I think they had it, but it wasn't as prominent as in Kenya because everybody in Botswana wants to, you know, purchase their stuff from the store. Even down to our curtains, we had our curtains custom made here also. And then this is the second entry to the balcony. Don't look too much of that. That's our storage area. But this is our long balcony with our beautiful, 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 beautiful views out here. I come out here and have my coffee all the time. So we enjoyed this area. And then we have one more bathroom, which would be my bathroom. As you can tell, I'm a little extra. I decorated, put the little curtain up. So that's my little getaway. So, and then I am also into herbs, spices, and all that. They call me I'm a herbalist, but so I have all my herbs and I make soaps and soaps, lotions, and facial products, which I am online. I have my business online, and this is all the products I make right now. Because it's an online business. My customer base is mainly Botswana and the States. So, but I did have a product introduction here, which I introduced my products to Kenya, just trying to decide if Kenya is the place I want to do business here or not. So, okay. Well, I am really into health and wellness. I've gotten in that's from your inside of your body to the outside of your body, but with your skin and your hair. I'm a cosmetologist. I've been in business for 32 years. No, 30 years, because my son is 32 years old. He was two for 30 years in the field. And so, my typical day, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I get up first thing in the morning. I have a nice protein shake, usually a keto protein shake with some spinach and all that stuff in it. And we go work out. I have a workout group. We've all started. We're now in our 7th week. Thank God I'm trimming down a little bit, trying to get my sexy back. But we're in our 7th week of working out. And because at my age, usually women at my age are on diabetes and high blood pressure and gout. They got on all these medicines. Thank God, to this day, I'm no on no medicines. I mean, I made a little chunky, but I'm on no medicines. So, but that's all due to trying to make sure I keep a healthy lifestyle with the things I eat and how I eat and exercising. So I usually get up, we exercise, and then we go walking. It's a group of us. I have a group of a sisterhood here, and we'll go walking. We'll either walk to the store, we go to the market, and then I'll come home and I'll do like some online business with my business. So I'm pretty frugal. So the apartment here, which, like I said, I'm not one. This is not for me. I would rather live in a house or a compound because I got 100,000 a month for this apartment. Electricity, let's see, I do like 6,000, 7,000 a month, Kenya shillings. The water is about 3,000, and then food about 20,000, maybe a month, somewhere around there. I like going to the market, so I'm a market shopper. I kind of got into that when I was in Gambia, so I like going more to the market than going to the grocery store as far as like for fresh vegetables and stuff like that. And then also with um, meat. I don't like getting from the store. I want to go to the butcher. I want them to be that mad that morning and me eating them that night. I know that may sound morbid, but because I like fresh. I don't like going into the store and I smell the smell of the meat. I want it to be fresh. So I have a butcher that at CBD that I go to that they keep expenses down because the reality is they come to the continent and they think, oh, I got some money and it's going because, oh, Kenya shillings to American dollar, I'm going to go a long ways. No, sir. It's a matter of perspective. And so when you have a dollar and you get 100, I think it's 100, is it 127 Kenya shillings to $1. You're like, oh my goodness, I got a lot of money, I'm a millionaire. That's what I felt when I was cashing in some money. I was like, okay, I got some money. But when you go into the store in America and you buy a candy bar, the candy bar may cost $1. When you go in the store in Kenya and you buy a candy bar, the candy bar may cost 127 Kenya shillings. So people don't understand it's a matter of perspective. Money is money everywhere. And so if you live like you just got this overabundance of money, that's because you got American Kenya shillings, you don't understand. It's a mind trick. And people don't understand it. It's literally a mind trick. And I had to learn that when I first went to Gambia, because Gambia really was. I was a multimillionaire in Gambia. So, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So I try to keep our living expenses as close to normal as possible. I'm not one, I don't know, I don't showboat and go all out there. Probably when we first moved and got our furniture and all that. But yeah.
Hey Web Nation family, something real is happening now. Spots for our November trip 2026 is actively being taken and people are booking now as you watch it. That means this is no longer an idea, it's happening guys. It's real. If you've been watching these stories and you are feeling that pull and you're telling yourself, I will do it someday, that someday is now. Right now you can secure your spot with just a deposit. Now, if you want a payment plan, then your deadline for payment is this April 30th. The question is simple. Are you coming? Click the link in the description now to secure your spot or scan the QR code and I'll see you in South Africa. Now, let's get back into the video.
That is a matter of perspective. With spending money here, if you don't regulate yourself, you will go broke really quick. Nairobi is expensive. So, and that's why I want to tell people Nairobi or living on the continent can be expensive. And it's really a matter of perspective. So that's what I've learned about the whole money system. I'm one of those people that I'm a perfectionist. So anything that I put my hands to, I'm going to perfect it. And I don't stop. Like some people, like they'll find something, they'll do it, and they'll stop at that. No, I'm going to, even if it's good, I'm still going to try to make it better. So there's like I was telling you with my different lotions and balms that I have upstairs, the creams. I've literally formulated it 20 the 22 times for the lotion, 23 times I think for the balm. So it's always, I'm always trying to build. I think I'm my biggest competition. Hey, busy. I own the salon day spa. So I was working easily 16-hour days or more. I worked a lot. So right before I moved, that's from America. So I moved here from Botswana. From Botswana, I was busy. I was busy making products and stuff all the time. So yeah, I've always been a little bit of a workaholic. I think Kenya has actually, even though I know that the market may be bigger here in Kenya, when I finally get to work or finally decide to work here, Kenya kind of just slowed me down just a little bit. But I think I'm more involved with the community and everything here in Kenya versus being such a workaholic. I'm more involved with my girlfriends, creating friendships, trying to create a tribe where we can actually literally come together and do something and grow together with a group of people. Yeah. Like I said, I was very successful in America, but it's the energy, it's the vibrations and the energy in America that is off. It's never, you never quite feel like complete. I always felt like there was something missing, like there was something deeper I was looking for and couldn't find it there. So that's one of the connections that I made coming to the continent, is that there was a connection that I made that I didn't find in America. Even though, like I said, my life was, I can't say, oh, I was bad and someone beat me up. No, but I got a better connection. Other than my move and the different getting taken advantage of when I moved here, um, Kenya itself is beautiful. I've learned really, really, really to love Kenya. That's why I say Kenya. I want Kenya to be home. Um, but there is, there's a lot of growing. Like I said, us as a community, as a African American community, that's from the diaspora, we need to learn how to grow and come together.
So guys, YouTube told us that 72% of you guys watching have not subscribed. Maybe you forgot. Please do subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, it's free. That's how you show your support to us and we promise to bring you an amazing content every week, twice a week at this point. So please subscribe now and stay tuned to Web Nation Africa.
Biggest sacrifice I've made is I miss family. It even, yeah, to this day, my daughter even don't understand, like, she's had a child, and so in a lot of people's mind, I'm supposed to be grandma and I'm supposed to be there, but I think I'm a little bit too sexy to be a grandma. But but anyway, but is I have days that I really miss my children, and then I also have this balance of I want my life. I've sacrificed my whole life for everybody. From when I was young, I'm the second oldest of six children. I've helped raise my younger brothers and sisters. Then I had children young, and I was married. And as you lose yourself in that. And I think coming to Africa has given me back a sense of who I am. Was it worth it? Yes, every minute, every minute. Even though you sacrificed every minute of who I am today, everything I've done. I will never change my path. I may boot somebody out my path quicker, but no. When we first get to the continent, I think we have on rose-colored glasses. We like, oh, we think it's going to be coming to America. Like maybe somebody, I never got my dancers at the airport. I wanted some dancers at the airport and welcome signs and all that. So once you get over the initial introduction that they lied to you about what Africa is, once you get past that and you start getting into the reality of the people in Africa, we put an expectation on people who live on a continent that we won't even put on people who live in America. So it's like when you come here, and even I think in the people on the continent put an expectation on us that they don't put on themselves. So I think the realization of people are people everywhere is the what you had to I had to get to here. Is that I did not come here. I did not come here like white people, where I was coming to save someone. No one here on the continent need to be saved by me. That everybody here is an equal to me. We're all equal. And so, and even I would like the people even here that live here on the continent to realize that when we're coming, we're not like this above you. We're equal. We're all equal. And the only way that we're going to make everything be successful and we all get to where we're supposed is all of us together joining hands and learning to love each other and respect each other's culture. Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're a Black American, you're from America, you don't have a culture." But yet, one of the things I had to see when I came to the continent is that everywhere I looked, I saw Black American culture. And so I'm like, so it actually even gave me more pride about myself coming to the continent, because I was coming like, oh, I need to go find culture. And then I got here, I was like, oh, they singing my song. Oh, they singing this from this country. Okay. So it gave me a greater respect to the people on the continent and the people and myself being African American, and more pride in myself too. Yeah. I felt welcome here by the Kenyans. Yes. Right now in Kenya have a splintered American community that we need to come together and get right. I think one of the things that needs to be addressed is that we move here. I guess there's a difference from when a Kenyan moves to America. When a Kenyan moves to America, the process of moving to America, you are allowed to focus on yourself when you move there. You're getting settled. You pay 700. You get a work visa quick. They want you to work. You can get a job. So the transition is easier. But when we move and come to Kenya, the transition is extremely difficult, because what they expect, we can't come here and get a job. And so a lot of people that move here are not entrepreneurs like me. They've never worked for themselves. like me. So you have people that's coming that's forced to have to put together working and or creating their own employment. So the fastest way for them to create employment is actually to get it from other Americans. So it actually is making it like it's almost like a cannibalistic attitude, because that you can get money from other Americans, so you figure out how to scam or take advantage of other Americans, because that's the only thing you know you to do. So you have people opening up different relocation services. I came here with a relocation service that took advantage of me when I got here. And it was difficult. That was my introduction to Kenya. And it wasn't my bad introduction to Kenya had nothing to do with Kenyans. My bad introduction to Kenya had to do with another American, and taking advantage of we moved into this spot. They found this spot for me. Everything that I had paid, the money I paid, is not what I got. And my mom came here, and she sat on a chair, it broke, and she hit her head up against the wall. And when you went back to the person and asked, well, I paid you this and this and this, it was you were gaslit. And actually, almost to this point now, we have a situation going on that is almost like they try to bully you, because I'm a very outspoken person. So I don't have fear of anybody. So if you do me wrong or do my mom wrong, I will approach you with it. But um, I'm in a situation now that when I come around, because they don't want to face up on the wrong that they do to people when people come into the country, they almost want everybody to shun you because you are bringing light to what they're doing. So, and the bad part about that is I'm a perfectionist. I've been a businesswoman for, like I say, 30 something years. So when you see other people who are doing the same business and they're doing it properly and they're working hard, a lot of people will look at what people are doing and making money, and they think, oh, it's easy to do that. So they half-ass jump into the same business, and then they take advantage of people because they're too lazy to do the work or what it takes and the years to build a real profitable business. People just see other people being profitable, but they don't want to put in the work to what it takes to get profitable. So they prey on other Americans that's coming here. And my fear is there's some people that are coming and they're getting taken advantage of, which makes it hard. And then they blame Kenya. And it's not Kenya, but it's actually the introduction they got to Kenya. That had nothing to do with the Kenyans, but it had to do with the Americans. So the calmness in the air, the calmness of how I'm walking around and I see me everywhere. I'm walking around, and when I say see me, I mean even the successful people you see here, even from the people like I'm one of those people that even if you go down and talk to the security people downstairs, I know them. I go down and talk to them. It's the in America, we were very individualized. You were working so hard. Everything was so go 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 go. I lived next to my neighbors for years and did not know them. So here in Kenya, it is like, or being on the continent, period, you get to know people. It's like there's a heart connection that you miss out on when you're in America. The peace, the self-awareness, literally the love even that I developed for my mom. My relationship with my mother has gotten so much deeper because there's six of us. I'm from a family of six. I'm the second oldest. And she moved here with me after I moved to Botswana. And the relationship I have developed with her, taking the time to develop and get that relationship, has been really, really, really good. Social media actually shows the very good side of Kenya. It did. It showed the really good side and stuff that, you were like, but what it did not prepare me for is the truth about what people go through when they move to Kenya, and they're not told the truth about the prices of things. And so, being that, I mean, I've lived on the continent, I've been on the continent now for a little over 5 years. So there's not too much snowing that the people is going to get me. Like, they're not, no one's is going to tell me that my couches cost 2,000 and I know they cost 400. So, and which actually is probably why I am thinking about opening up my own. I didn't want to do YouTube. YouTube was far what I did not want to do, but I wanted to start my own YouTube channel because I think when the truth comes out and people see the actual cost of things when they come to the continent, they won't be taken advantage of. So they get taken advantage of because they don't know. They're coming right from America and they're coming to Kenya, or they're coming to any other African country and they get taken advantage of. Because what happens is, like, companies like Traverse Culture, she has done the work. She has been here on the continent, I think, like 10 to 12 years. And she has literally done the work as far as like making sure she does the research, knowing what people need when they come to the continent, giving them an exploratory tour where they come and they see the continent, they know it. She's done the work. So what happens is other people will notice, oh, she did the work, but she's making money. And they don't understand that when you're an entrepreneur, the path it gets to making money, or the pathway it takes for you to grow a company, you didn't see that. That is the hard work. They don't see the hard work. They just see a person making money. And so they go and they try to hodgepodge something together, because what they're trying to do is they want to get the American dollars, and they want to get it the easiest way possible without doing the work of what it takes to get to where you make money. There's a lot of years, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of stuff people do not appreciate when you're an entrepreneur. So what ended up happening is, when it comes time for them to perform what they say they're going to do, they don't know how to connect the dots because they didn't do the work. So they're taking advantage of people with money coming from the United States who don't know, and they're trying to copy someone who has done the work, and then they leave this big old gap because they don't know how to connect the two to make sure that people are getting their needs met. And so then people have a bad taste in their mouth about coming to Kenya or coming to onto the continent, because they've been taken advantage of by another American. It's not a Kenyan, it's not a person from Ghana, it's not a person from Nigeria, it's our own. And so we need to learn how to, instead of trying to always splinter and always be envious of what someone else has, instead of doing that, we need to learn how to come together and build with each other, building blocks on how, if you see someone that's doing something you want to do, sit down and ask him, how did you do it? Can you teach me? There is plenty of money to go around. There's plenty of opportunity to go around for Americans, Kenyans, for everyone. But when you sit down and your only objective is to take advantage of, to get money in your pocket. And so when you chase money, money runs from you. So, and that is so clear. There's so many people and that are coming here are getting hurt by our own people, and it needs to stop. So that's what, to me, that is what you say, what YouTube or online is has taught me. But I'm hoping that people that are online will now start sitting down and doing more research. Really, if you're going to go with anyone, ask for your receipts, ask for the contracts up front. Someone give you a little short contract or something that they didn't do their own homework. Ask them how long they've been in the country. Ask them how long they've been on the continent. Ask questions. Don't just give your money to people because they're American. Take time to ask questions and do your due diligence with that person. Only thing that made me second guess or made me almost not come was my children. I have a son and a daughter, but they're both grown. My daughter is going to be soon she's 35, soon to be 36, and my son is 32. And my granddaughter, she's actually about to turn two, April 8th. So that was my only. I was like, I didn't want to leave them, but then I knew that I was on a spiritual journey that was for me. I needed to come, and I know a lot of people like you could have brought them with you. And I before I left, I got both of them their passports. They both had round trip tickets to come if they want. They had two tickets, and they decided, they didn't want to. But I knew that the journey was a journey for me, for my own personal healing. Several times. And now you would be crazy. Anyone that say they didn't is not being truthful. There's different struggles hardships that you go through, especially when I left Gambia and I went to Botswana. I actually went there. I was engaged when I went. And when that relationship just went south, that is literally the only relationship that I've had since I've been on the continent. When that relationship went completely south, I was so broken when I was in Botswana. I was so broken from that when it took me like 3 years, I wouldn't even try to date or nobody. I was like, nobody, you know. But at that time, I second guessed why I came because and hurt and pain will make a person second guess. But now I've come to Kenya. I've healed. I went through some self reflection, and yeah, I'm a lot better. I would never advise anyone not to make the move. I'm not, and I am even in the. I know a lot of people say don't come if you don't have money and all that. I would never tell anyone not to come with money or without money because everybody has their personal journey. And everybody's journey is different. So everybody is going to. I would not ever tell someone not to come, even if they come here and it falls apart and it went bad. It was a learning lesson they may had to learn to get in touch with who they are. So I think advising people, oh, don't come here, don't, because how I came, no one would advise people to do what I did. I literally sold everything. When I came to Kenya, I had never been to Kenya. When I went to Botswana, I had never been to Botswana. So a lot of people are like, oh, don't go there until you have this and you go see. Everywhere I've moved, I've never been there before I moved there. So, and each time, each country that I had moved to, taught me a different thing about myself, gave me a different lesson about who I am, and made me go deeper within. And yes, some of my journey may have been hard, but in that hard or what I went through grew me. It made me grow. So yeah, I would never tell anyone not to come. Wouldn't advise anyone. If they feel to come, come. If you're not ready to do what it takes to become who you truly were meant to be. If you're not ready to work hard for what you want, if you're not ready to face yourself truthfully, if you're not ready to put down your ego, if you're not ready to know how to love people, to truly love people from within, from that space within. If you're not ready for that, and if you're not ready to really, really, really get down to the nitty gritty of life, don't move. Stay where you are. Because if you're not ready to do that and make some sacrifices and really, really understand and know spiritually who you are, you're probably not ready to come to Africa, period, to the continent. In the next 5 years, I would love to be in Kenya, thriving in Kenya, building legacy in Kenya with the Kenyans, have some Kenyan friends, adopting into somebody's tribe. Please take me. One of your tribes take me. You know, building in Kenya. I want Kenya to be my home base. I was tossed up. I am actually tossed up between Kenya and Botswana. But the longer I've stayed in Kenya, Kenya is more my speed, more what I'm looking for. So in the next 5 years, I want Kenya to be home.